Hello everyone, this is your Vinita. Welcome back to Vinita Online Nursing Classes. Since 2 days, we are discussing the topic from the subject that is the anatomy and the physiology. So, the topic is anatomy and the physiology of gastrointestinal tract or digestive system. Okay, in the previous class, we have seen the topic is neural innervation of gastrointestinal tract. Okay, what all are the different types of the neurons or nervous system was involved in the process of innervating gastrointestinal tract we have seen. So if anyone has missed the yesterday's class, so I am going to put the link of yesterday's class in the description box. Once you go to the description box and you can able to find the link of the yesterday's class. So if you listen to the yesterday's class only, you can able to easily understand today's class. Okay, today we are going to discuss the topic that is anatomy of peritoneum. Okay, so the organs which will be involved in the gastrointestinal tract. So daily one of the organ we used to discuss. Okay, today we are going to discuss the topic is peritoneum, anatomy and the physiology of the peritoneum. First let's discuss the anatomy of peritoneum. Before starting the anatomy of the peritoneum, first we have to know the anatomy of the digestive system. So, under the digestive system, there are the few organs were involved in the digestive system. The first one is the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, peritoneum, spleen and vessels and nerves. Okay, so we used to discuss the each one of the anatomy and the physiology of each organ which will be coming under the gastrointestinal tract. Okay, today we are going to discuss the topic that is the peritoneum. Okay, the fourth organ, so which will be coming under the gastrointestinal tract. We are going to discuss the topic is anatomy of the peritoneum. Okay, Peritoneum. Okay, the spelling of the peritoneum is that. See here, peri. The word peri means around. The word peri means around. It is the peritoneum. It is the largest serous membrane of the body in the digestive system. Okay, this slide shows the picture or diagram of the peritoneum. Okay, this is the diagram of the peritoneum. The peri means around and the peritoneum, it is the largest serous membrane of the body. Especially the peritoneum, it consists of largest serous membrane overall the body. Okay, let me introduce the topic of the peritoneum in detail. Let's see the introduction of the peritoneum. Okay, the peritoneum is a thin serous membrane that line the walls of the abdominal and pelvic cavities. So here not only it is lining the walls of the abdominal and the pelvic cavities, and it also covers the organs within these cavities. Why? Because so it is having the largest serous membrane. Okay, serous membrane of the body. So by that it is covering the overall the walls of the abdominal and the pelvic cavity, and also it covers the organs with the help of the cavities. Okay, so here the peritoneal cavity is the peritoneal space between the parietal and the visceral layer of the peritoneum. So here what all are the cavities were present in the peritoneum? So that will be having the presence of peritoneal cavity. It shows the space between the two types of the layers in the peritoneum. What all are those layers? First one is the parietal layer and second one is the visceral layer. Okay, then these peritoneal cavity is divided into two main sacs. First one is the greater sac and second one is the lesser sac. So here the small recesses of peritoneal cavity is also present, which are separated from main cavity by fold of peritoneum. So here this peritoneal cavity is completely separated by the folds of the peritoneum. Okay, so here what it says, it consisting of the layer of simple squamous epithelium, means with the help of the largest serous membrane of the body, it is also covered with the squamous or mesothelium. So that mesothelium within the underlying support that layer of the areolar connective tissue. So this mesothelium will be taking place with the support of the areolar connective tissue. Okay, see here the peritoneal cavity is majorly divided into two types of the layers. First one is the parietal layer and second one is the visceral layer. So here the parietal layer or parietal peritoneum means, so this type of the peritoneum will be lines the wall of the abdominopelvic cavity. Okay, what is the function of the parietal layer? The parietal layer will be lines the walls of the abdominopelvic cavity. Coming to the visceral layer of the peritoneum, so that will be covering the some of the organs in the cavity, especially in their serosa. Okay, see here this will be lining the abdominopelvic cavity and the visceral layer will be covering of the organs in the cavity in their serosa, which there will be present over the serosa. Okay, see here the definition of the peritoneum is, peritoneum is defined as the large thin serous membrane that lines the walls of the abdominal and pelvic cavities and cover the organs with these cavities. So here with the help of the pelvic cavity, the organs were covered with the cavities. Okay, with the abdominal and the pelvic cavities were covering the organs of the peritoneum. So here we used to call it as a serosa. See here we have discussed. Okay, and these peritoneum consisting of two layers. First one is the outer fibrous layer. So the outer fibrous layer will be having the very strength. And coming to the second layer of the peritoneum is the inner flattened mesothelial cells. So these inner flattened mesothelial cells will be having the lubrication manner. Okay, so like lubricating in a nature, but how outer fibrous will be having particularly strength. Okay, these are the two layers of the peritoneum. Let's see the retroperitoneal organs. Here it is very useful for all the students of BSc nursing and those who are going to write the competitive examinations. They used to ask what all are the retroperitoneal organs. Retroperitoneal organs. So here there is a useful mnemonic especially for helping in recalling which a abdominal viscera or the retroperitoneal. So the retroperitoneal organs that we used to call in an easy manner, that is the sad pucker. Okay, just in a general manner. Let's see what all are the abbreviation of the sad pucker. SADPUCKER. Okay, S means suprarenal, means suprarenal glands will be, means S. Okay, this S means suprarenal glands will be coming, means adrenal glands will be coming. First organ of the retroperitoneal organ is suprarenal adrenal glands. Coming to the second one is the aorta. A means aorta. IVC means intravenous catheter. Okay, and D means duodenum. So here the in the duodenum, except the proximal 2 centimeters and the duodenal cap will be present over the duodenum. Coming to the P means pancreas. So here in the pancreas, so there will be presence with the except the tail, there will be the remaining pancreas will be comes under the retroperitoneal organs. Okay, then U means ureters and C means colon. So here the colon part will be consisting of the ascending and the descending parts will be coming under the retroperitoneal organs. And K means kidneys. Kidneys is also one of the retroperitoneal organs. Then coming to the E, E means esophagus. Okay, and last and the final letter, that is the R, is rectum. Okay, so this is the abbreviation of the Saltpeter. Means so these Saltpeter comes under the retroperitoneal organs. Means so here there will be the different types of the organs will becomes under the peritoneum. Okay, so see here, this is the diagram of the peritoneum. Diaphragm, liver, pancreas will be present, stomach, duodenum, transverse colon, jejunum, ileum, sigmoid colon, uterus, urinary bladder, rectum. Okay, see here, at this side we are going to see the overall parts of the peritoneum. See, lesser omentum, mesocolon, mesentery, greater omentum, parietal peritoneum, visceral peritoneum. See, we have seen the two layers. There are the two layers of the peritoneum will be present. The first one is the parietal peritoneum and the second one is the visceral peritoneum, and next one we have seen the peritoneal cavity. Okay. See, in detail we can able to see the clear picture in this slide. This is the peritoneum. We can able to see the anterior view, posterior view, lateral view of the peritoneum. See here, peritoneum is the largest serous membrane of the body. Serous membranes are especially connected with the heart. Okay, so where it is connected with the heart, at the region of the pericardium, and also the serous membrane is connected to the lungs, means pleura, and it also consisting the layer of simple squamous epithelium. So here mesothelium and also the layer of connective tissue. So generally if anyone asks what all are the layers were covered to the peritoneum or covered by the peritoneum, means we can able to say that. So mainly the serous membrane are connected with the heart and the lungs. There are the two layers which was connected towards the or covered by the peritoneum, that is the simple squamous epithelium, mesothelium, and also there is a one more layer, that is the connective tissue layer. Okay. See here, there are the two types of the peritoneum, parietal peritoneum and second one is the visceral peritoneum. See here, this is the parietal peritoneum. Okay, this is the visceral peritoneum. See here, parietal peritoneum, it is the wall of the abdominal cavity which is lining the abdominopelvic cavity. Okay, then visceral peritoneum is, it covers some of the organs in the cavity. See here, this is the visceral peritoneum. It will be covering the organs which will be present over the cavity, and in the visceral peritoneum there will be the presence of the serous fluid. So that serous fluid will be lies in the space between these types. So here there is a presence of the serous fluid, so that will be lies between the parietal peritoneum and also the visceral peritoneum. Okay. The peritoneum contains large fold that wave between the viscera. Okay, so here in the next slide you can able to visualize the viscera. Okay, so it consisting of the large fold, so that will be having the wave between the viscera. Okay, then the mesentery is also present over the peritoneum, that is frequently extended in the manner to include the double layers of the peritoneum. Especially why this mesentery includes means to connect the various components of the abdominal cavity. So the mesentery will be involved, frequently extended towards the involving the connecting the different components of the layers of the abdominal cavity. There are some of the organs which are lying on the posterior abdominal wall. It's covered from the anterior surfaces only, like pancreas or the kidneys. Means retroperitoneal organs we have seen, no? So the pancreas and the kidneys will be having like some organs only lying on the posterior abdominal wall. So remaining organs will not be lying on the posterior abdominal walls. Only out of the retroperitoneal organs, only few of the organs will be lying on the abdominal wall, especially to cover the anterior surface. So here which type of the organs were lying on the, which type of the organs were covering the abdominal surface means only the two types of the organs, that is the pancreas and the kidneys, were covering the abdominal wall. Okay, especially lying on the abdominal, posterior abdominal wall to cover the anterior surface of its organ. Okay. See here, this slide is also showing the picture in detail. Visceral peritoneum, it covers the which covers the some of the organs in the cavity and the serosa. Parietal peritoneum, it will be showing the lining of the walls of the abdominopelvic cavity. So here mesocolon, small bowel mesentery, greater omentum, mesosigmoid, Douglas pouch will be present over the peritoneum. Okay, see, let's see omenta. Here, see here, before the discussing the about the omenta, we have to know like regarding the what are the retroperitoneal means. Some organs will be lying on the posterior abdominal wall, so that will be covered by the peritoneum only, because on their anterior surface only. So the peritoneum will be covered only on their anterior surface, they are not in the peritoneal cavity. Like such type of the organs including kidneys, ascending and the descending colons, or the large intestine, duodenum, like small intestine, pancreas. So whatever these organs will be lying on the anterior surface, that we used to call it as a retroperitoneal. Retro means behind. Okay, retro means behind. So here this type of the organs will be surrounding the, or behind it is protecting the anterior wall of the peritoneum. But the pericardium, like pleura, which smoothly covers the heart and the lungs. Okay, see here we have seen heart and the lungs, and the peritoneum contains large fold wave between the viscera. Okay, so see here, the folds bind the organs to one another, to the walls of the abdominal cavity. They also contains like the blood vessels, lymphatic vessels also will be covered, and the nerves. Nerves will be supplying the such kind of the neural innervation, means such kind of the supply to the abdominal organs. Okay, see here, there are the majorly folds will be present in the peritoneum organ. Okay, so here the peritoneal folds, there are the majorly 5 peritoneal folds will be present. First one is the greater omentum, second one is the falciform ligament, third one is the lesser omentum, and fourth one is the mesentery, and fifth one is the mesocolon. So these are the 5 types of the folds of the peritoneal folds. See here, we can able to see the picture. Okay, first one is the greater omentum, second one is the falciform ligament, next picture we can able to see in detail. Okay, see here, just you can note down the points. The peritoneal folds were, there are the five major peritoneal folds. First one is the greater omentum, second one is the falciform ligament, and third one is the lesser omentum, fourth one is the mesentery, and fifth one is the mesocolon. So before knowing the peritoneal folds, we have to know what is the meaning of the omenta. Okay, see here, omenta means fold of peritoneum that connect the stomach with the another viscera. What is the meaning of the omenta? It is such kind of the fold of the peritoneum which will be connecting the stomach with the another viscera. That is the meaning of the omenta. So here there are the two types of the omentum were present. So this is the lesser omentum. Okay, this area of this part of the peritoneum we used to call it as a lesser omentum, and this part of the peritoneum we used to call it as a greater omentum. Let's see one by one. So see here the omenta. Before discussing of lesser and greater omentum, we should know like a few points regarding the omenta. We have seen that omenta is the fold of peritoneum which will be connecting the stomach with the another viscera. So here omenta is a two-layered fold of peritoneum. It is a two-layered fold of the peritoneum which will be connecting to the stomach to the another viscus. Okay, then see here under the omentum there are the two types of the omenta will be present over. First one is the lesser omentum and the second one is the greater omentum. So here the lesser omentum we are seeing, this is the lesser omentum. The lesser omentum will be attaches the lesser curvature of the stomach to the liver. So here where it is attaching, it is having the attachment towards the stomach towards the liver. Okay, then coming to the greater omentum. So here the greater omentum will be connects the greater curvature of the stomach to the transverse colon. So here it is having the connection of the greater stomach to the transverse colon. Got it? So the lesser omentum will be having the connection between the stomach to the liver. But coming to the greater omentum, that will be having the curvature of the stomach to the transverse colon. Okay? See here. Lesser and the greater omentum. Lesser and the greater omentum. The lesser attaches stomach to the liver and greater will be covers the small intestine like apron. Okay, see here the greater omentum. This is the greater omentum and this is the lesser omentum. The lesser omentum will be attached to the like liver. But coming to the greater omentum, this will be having covers like the small intestine. So see here, in this picture shows you in a clear. It is covering to the small intestine. Okay, so this is the small intestine. So the small intestine was covered by the greater omentum. Okay. See, this is the greater omentum picture. The greater omentum picture will be covering overall the stomach towards the transverse colon. See here, there is a presence of the transverse colon underneath. But see here, the underneath the greater omentum will be present. So here the greater omentum was covering the transferring the layer of the transverse colon. Okay. Let's discuss one by one. So the first one is the greater omentum. Greater oment will be connects the greater curvature of the stomach to the transverse colon. Especially in the greater omentum, it hangs like an apron in front of the small intestine. We can able to see like an apron. It will be hanging in front of the small intestine. And this greater omentum, it is a folded back on itself, especially to be attached to the transverse colon. Largest peritoneal reflection in the body. So the greater omentum we used to call it as a largest peritoneal reflection in the body. Okay. Coming to the next point of the greater omentum. So the greater omentum, it is a four-layered fold of peritoneum. So how many layers were present over the greater omentum? The greater omentum will be consisting of the four layers. The anterior two layers means which will be descending from the greater curvature of the stomach, and superior part of duodenum, and this superior part of the duodenum and that will be hangs down like an apron. We used to call that it has a fatty apron, fatty, fatty apron. Okay, so here this will be hangs down like an apron in front of coils of small intestine, and then automatically it will be turns upwards and attaches to the transverse colon. So if any infection occurs in the intestine or the plasma cells, so that will be formed in the lymph nodes, like combating the infection, and it will be help to prevent the infection from spreading to the peritoneum. So here these four layered folds of the peritoneum will be like preventing the spreading of the infection to the peritoneum. Okay, then coming to the second one is the lesser omentum. So here the lesser omentum is the two layered fold of the omentum. Okay, so these two layered fold of the peritoneum which will be extending from the porta hepatis to lesser curvature of the stomach and superior part of the duodenum. So where it is to be extended, it is to be extended towards the lesser curvature of the stomach from the porta hepatis, means from the porta hepatis to the lesser curvature of the stomach and superior part of the duodenum, it will be extending the lesser omentum. Then hepatogastric ligament. So there are the two ligaments will be comes under the lesser omentum. The first one is the hepatogastric ligament and the second one is the hepatoduodenal ligament. So let's see, the first one is the hepatogastric ligament. The hepatogastric ligament extends from porta hepatis to lesser curvature of the stomach. So the word itself says hepato, means it will be started, extends from the hepatis to gastric, means to the curvature of the stomach. That is the first ligament of the lesser omentum. Coming to the second one is the hepatoduodenal ligament. So here the hepatoduodenal ligament, so it will be extending from the hepatis to the superior part of the duodenum. So in the word itself says the exact meaning of the ligaments. Okay, first one, it is extending from the porta of the hepatis and to the lesser curvature of the stomach. Second one is it is extending from the same porta of the hepatis but to the superior part of the duodenum. Okay, these are the two ligaments which will be comes under the lesser omentum. See here the lesser omentum. We used to call it as a ventral mesentery, and there is a lesser curvature, that is the epiploic foramen. Epiploic foramen means there is a opening to omental bursa. Okay, then greater omentum, greater curvature, dorsal mesentery, opening to the dorsal mesentery will be present in the greater curvature. Okay, so this is the picture of lesser omentum. There is a epiploic foramen will be present at the lesser omentum, and right free margins will be present at the lesser omentum. So this is the right free margin which will be present or comes under the lesser omentum, and second one is the epiploic foramen. So this is the epiploic foramen. It is a double layered fold of the peritoneum which will be extended from the lesser curvature of the stomach. So what is the centimeter? Till the first 2 centimeter of the duodenum to the liver, this type of the lesser omentum will be extending. So we have to note this point. First 2 centimeters of the duodenum to liver only, the lesser omentum will be extending. Okay, see here, first 2 centimeters of the duodenum from the stomach to the first 2 centimeters of duodenum to the liver, the lesser omentum, double layered fold of the peritoneum will be extended. Okay, see, this is the anterior wall of the lesser sac. There are the ligamentum teres in falciform ligament. This is the diaphragm, and this is the hepatoduodenal ligament containing the portal triad, and this is the epiploic foramen. So this is the liver and hepatogastric ligament. Stomach, so here the stomach will be having the posterior wall faces lesser sac. So this is the first part of the duodenum. Okay, gastrospleen ligament, and this is the spleen, this is the kidney. Okay, and see here gastrocolic ligament were present. So see here the spleen and kidney, retroperitoneal organ, and hepatic flexure of the transverse colon was present. So see here greater omentum. So this is the anterior layer of the greater omentum, and splenoid flexure of transverse colon was present. So this is the anterior wall of the lesser sac. This is the posterior wall of the lesser sac. So here in the posterior we can able to visualize, see the celiac artery and the branches of the lesser sac and diaphragm, crura, suprarenal gland we used to observe, kidneys, and splenorenal ligaments we used to see, pancreas, transverse mesocolon will be present, colon will be present, transverse colon will be present, greater omentum. So here this is the posterior layer of the greater omentum. Okay, this is the epiploic foramen. Then all but mesenteries and the transverse colons are only the retroperitoneal. Okay, see here the contents which will be comes under the lesser omentum is, there are the 5 types of contents of lesser omentum. First one is the bile duct, second one is the proper hepatic, then third one is the portal vein, fourth one is the left and right gastric vein, and fifth one is the lymph nodes, lymphatics, nerves, and the plexus. So these all are the 5 types of the contents which will comes under the lesser omentum. What all are those? Bile duct, proper hepatic arteries, portal vein, left and the right gastric vein, lymph nodes and the lymphatics, and nerves and the plexus will be. These all are the 5 types of the contents which will comes under the lesser omentum. Okay. See here the lesser omentum, mainly it is considerably smaller. Word itself says lesser, so it is a smaller, and it is attaches from the lesser curvature of the stomach and the proximal part of the duodenum to the liver. Especially it consists of 2 parts, hepatogastric ligaments and the hepatoduodenal ligaments we have seen. So here under the lesser omentum there is a omental foramen. So the omental foramen will be behanded the right border of the hepatoduodenal ligament. So the superior it will be having the caudate lobe of the liver, and the inferior of the omental foramen there is a superior part of the duodenum will be present, and coming to the anterior of the omental foramen there is a hepatoduodenal ligament. Then posterior there will be the peritonium covering the inferior vena cava will be present over the omental foramen. So according to the part, superior, inferior, anterior, posterior views, so there are the different types of the parts will be attached towards the omental foramen. Okay. See here, it extends from the lesser curvature of the stomach and the first part of the duodenum to the inner inferior surface of the liver. So these lesser omentum is a thin membrane continuous with the peritoneal coverings of the anterior and the posterior surface of the stomach and the first part of the duodenum. Lesser omentum, we have seen that 2 types it is divided: medial hepatogastric and lateral hepatoduodenal. Okay. See here, this is the hepatoduodenal ligament. Hepatoduodenal ligament and the hepatogastric ligament. Okay. We have seen what all of the ducts will be consist or the contains will be comes under the lesser omentum. We have seen in the previous slide. Okay. See the contents of the greater omentum, only there are the 2 types of the contents. The first one is the left gastroepiploic vessels and second one is the right gastroepiploic vessels. Only there are the 2 types of the vessels or the contents which will comes under the greater omentum. The first one is the left gastroepiploic vessels and the second one is the right gastroepiploic vessels. And also these lesser omentum, it is a double layered entity which will be suspended between the lesser curvature of the stomach and the proximal half-inch, means 2 centimeters of the first part of the duodenum inferiorly, and the porta hepatis and the fissure of the ligamentum venosum superiorly. Okay, and it contains the hepatic triad, branches of the anterior vagus nerve, some lymph nodes, and the right and the left gastric arteries will be present over the lesser omentum. Okay, see here the falciform ligaments, ligamentum teres, left triangular ligament. So this is the superior ligament, and lesser omentum, gastroesophageal, okay, jejunum, duodenum. Then third major peritoneal fold is falciform ligament. So this is the falciform ligament. So here the falci means like it is a flash means sickle shaped fold of peritoneum which will be connects the like it is having the anterior abdominal wall. So it is connecting the anterior abdominal wall with the liver slightly to the right of the median plane. So here in the falciform ligament we used to see the borders, anterior borders and the posterior borders. So in the anterior border, these falciform ligament is attached to under surface of diaphragm, abdominal anterior wall. So it is also attached to the under surface of the diaphragm and also the anterior abdominal wall. Coming to the posterior border of the falciform, so it is attached to the superior and anterior surface of the liver. Coming to the free margin of the falciform ligament, it is connection between the umbilicus to the liver, and also it contains the round ligament of the liver and the ligamentum teres. So here this is the ligamentum teres. Okay, so see here in the picture we can able to see the liver, falciform ligament, lesser omentum, okay, greater omentum. So see here the ligamentum teres. Okay, this is the falciform ligament. So here the falciform ligament. So in this picture you can able to see greater omentum, lesser omentum, same picture. See here, this is the peritoneal ligaments. Like peritoneal ligaments are the double layer folds of the peritoneum that connects the solid viscera to the abdominal walls. Like the liver, for example, it is connected to the diaphragm by the falciform ligament or the coronary ligament or right and the left triangular ligament. See here the peritoneal ligaments. See left triangular ligament, falciform ligament, left lobe of liver, right lobe of liver, inferior vena cava, ligamentum teres. Okay, see here we can able to see the ligamentum venosum. Means there is a attachment of the solid viscera to the abdominal walls. So these type of the ligaments will be having the attachment to the abdominal walls. Left triangular ligaments, ligamentum venosum, falciform ligament, okay, right triangular ligaments, coronary ligaments. So these ligaments are attached to the abdominal walls. See, next one is the peritoneal ligaments. We have to know that what all are the peritoneal ligaments. Okay. See, under the peritoneal ligaments, we used to see that there are the three types of the organs. First one is the liver, second one is the stomach, and third one is the spleen. Okay, so under the liver there are the 5 types of the ligaments. What all are those? First one is the coronary ligament. So here the under the coronary ligament there will be the presence of left or the right triangular ligaments will be present, and second one is the falciform ligament. Third one is the round ligament of liver. So here ligamentum teres hepatis will be present under the round ligament of liver. Then hepatogastric ligament. Then hepatoduodenal ligament will be present. So see here, this is the first peritoneal ligament, that is the liver. Okay. Coronary ligaments, falciform ligaments, round ligaments of liver. Okay. Then coming to the stomach, so there are the 4 types of the ligaments. First one is the hepatogastric ligament. Okay, and gastrophrenic ligament. So see here the gastrophrenic ligament, then gastrosplenic ligament. So this is the gastrosplenic ligament. Then gastrocolic ligament. So this is the gastrocolic ligament. Then coming to the spleen, there are the 2 types of the ligament. First one is the gastrosplenic ligament. So we have seen in this picture only gastrosplenic ligament. Then splenorenal ligament. Okay, so see these ligaments can connect to the organs to another organs and organ to the abdominal one. So these peritoneal ligaments we can able to connect to all the organs and organs to the abdominal one and abdominal wall to the organs we can able to connect these type of the peritoneal ligaments. Okay. So the next type of the peritoneal fold is the mesentery. Okay. So this is the mesentery. The picture shows in a clear manner mesentery. Mesentery, it is one of the peritoneal fold. It is a broad fan shape. Broad fan shaped, and these mesentery will be suspends jejunum and ileum from posterior abdominal wall. Means a fan shaped fold of the peritoneum we used to call it as a mesentery. Mes means middle. Mes means middle. Okay, so this will be binding the jejunum and the ileum of the small intestine to the posterior abdominal wall. So these mesentery, this is the largest peritoneal fold and it is having the typically laden with the fat, and it also contributes the extensively to the large abdomen in the obese individuals. And these mesentery will be extending from the posterior abdominal wall, especially to wrap around the small intestine, and then it will be returns to its origin, forming a double layered structure. So here there are the between the two layers or blood and the lymphatic vessels, and the lymph nodes will be formed by the mesentery. So here it is also supports the abdominal wall. It suspends the jejunum and ileum from the posterior abdominal wall, and it conveys, the mesentery conveys the nutrition and innervates the guts. Mainly here it consisting of the two layers from the greater sac, like the blood and the lymphatic vessels and the lymph nodes. Okay. See here, let's see the relation of the mesentery. So here the what all are the relations present over the mesentery, right and the left. Coming to the right surface, there is in the right surface the mesentery covers the front sides of ascending colon. Okay, it is covering the front side of the ascending colon. Coming to the right surface, so it is having the paracolic gutter. There is a paracolic gutter. Coming to the left surface, it covers front and sides of descending colon. Coming to here, left surface, it is having the paracolic gutter, and above there will be the presence of the pancreas, and the below there will be the presence of sigmoid colon. These are the relations of the mesentery. Okay. See, let's see, coming to the borders of the mesentery, there are the two types of the borders. First one is the vertebral border, or second one is the intestinal border. So the another name for the vertebral border, we used to call it as a attached border or the root. Okay. Then second one is the intestinal or free border. So there will be the intestinal free border will be present over the mesentery. Then last and the final peritoneal fold is the mesocolon. So this is the mesocolon. So here the mesocolon, transverse mesocolon, two separate folds of the peritoneum. There is a two separate folds between the peritoneum, that we used to call it as a mesocolon. The transverse mesocolon, it is a fold of the peritoneum that will be connecting the transverse colon, especially the transverse colon to the posterior abdominal wall, it will be connecting. And its two layers of the peritoneum leave the posterior abdominal wall across the anterior surface of the head and body of the pancreas, and it also passes outward, especially for the surrounding of the transverse colon. So here between its two layers or the arteries and the veins, nerves and the lymphatics, which will be related to the transverse colon. So here in the mesocolon, the anterior layer of the transverse mesocolon is especially having the other end to the posterior layer of the greater omentum. Okay. See here the mesentery, it is we have seen in the first topic, same mesentery. Okay. Same, the mesentery, arteries and the veins, the double layer structure will be present over the mesentery. Okay. So these are the 5 folds of the peritoneal folds we have seen. Got it? So what we have discussed, we have seen the peritoneum and abdominal cavity, means peritoneal cavity and layers of the peritoneum. We have seen the curvatures, means parts of the peritoneum. There are the especially two layers of the peritoneum. The first one is the parietal peritoneum, and second one is the visceral peritoneum we have seen, and we have also seen the retroperitoneal organs, sad pucker. Okay, and retroperitoneal organs. Then we have seen the folds of the peritoneum. There are the greater five folds of the peritoneal cavity. First one is the greater omentum, second one is the lesser omentum, falciform ligament, and mesentery, and the mesocolon. So we have seen the lesser omentum will be attaching the lesser curvature of the stomach to the liver, and the greater omentum will be connects the greater curvature of the stomach to the transverse colon. Okay, and so these are the pictures we have also seen. We have seen the anterior wall of the lesser sac and the posterior wall of the lesser sac. Lesser omentum contains, greater omentum contains. Okay, I hope that you're getting very good knowledge by these classes. If you like my videos, please do like and support me, and share with your friends. Subscribe for more updates. If you have missed any previous classes, go to the description box. There you can find the many links of the previous classes. By that, if you listen to the previous classes only, you can able to understand the easy topic of today. Means this will be having the relationship of the one by one topic. Anatomy and physiology will be dealing with the connection with the one by one topic. We have discussed the first anatomy and physiology of the overview of the digestive system and functions of the digestive system and the layers of the digestive system. And then we have seen the in the yesterday's class we have seen the neural innervation of the GI system. There are the autonomous nervous system, enteric nervous system, and the central nervous system. And today we have seen the one of the organ, that is the peritoneum we have seen. Okay, hope you all understood very well. Stay home, stay safe, stay live. Thank you everyone.